Unfortunately, you just can't do realistic paintings with watercolor. That is not true. In this video, I'll share 5 tips to help you create realistic watercolor paintings. All right, tip number 1. Whoa, we got use high quality reference images. Some people, they use pixelated images that you can't see details. So how are you going to paint it if you can't see it? I mean, would you rather paint this or this? Do yourself a favor, make sure you get high quality images. I'll share some places you can get free high quality photos in the description. Tip number 2, use forgiving materials, especially when it comes to paper. Arches is a forgiving paper because it is so tough. You can layer and layer and layer, and you can lift and lift and lift. So it's very forgiving. Also, it's very tough, so it can withstand a lot of tape. Whereas other paper I've ripped because it just wasn't very tough. This piece had lots of layers, but the arches handled it easily. So this is very forgiving. When it comes to paint, there is some paint that is staining, which means it does not lift, it doesn't erase very well. Let me show you what I mean. So I love these 2 blues because they are non-staining. So look how I was able to lift the paint after it dried. But this yellow is semi-staining, so it was harder to lift. Later, when you're looking at your painting, you're like, I want to lift that. You can go back in and lift it and there's no problem. So I make sure and I get non-staining paint. I'll put a list of all the non-staining paints in the Holbein and also the Daniel Smith brands in the description. Tip number 3, make accurate proportions. If your proportions are off, your whole painting will be off. The bad drawer is known for his inaccurate proportions. It doesn't matter how detailed you are. It doesn't matter if you got all the colors right. But if one eye is bigger than the other eye, people are going to notice. So there are many ways of getting your proportions correct. There's the grid method, but I don't really recommend it with watercolors because you got to erase all the squares before you begin. There is the transfer paper method. We want to get this line drawing onto this using transfer paper. First, we got to line it up and then we got to tape it. So this is the light side, which means you won't get anything on your hands. But this side is the darker side that has the graphite. Place this guy back down. Here's light, medium, hard, really hard. And there is the projector method. If you're doing a large painting, you might want to use a projector. Lots of professionals do this. The first time I used the projector was actually when I painted my hummingbird. Or if it's a smaller painting, you can use an app like the DaVinci Eye app. It does take some getting used to because while you're drawing, you're not looking at your paper, you're looking at your phone. The inspiration, the painting. Number 4. Paint from light to dark and from watery to thick. So a lot of my frustration with watercolors when I was first starting was because I didn't understand that you were to go from light to dark, and because it's much easier to put dark on top of light colors, but in watercolor, it's hard to put light colors on top of dark colors. And going from watery to thick is important because it prevents you from creating blooms and background blooms. So let me show you what I mean. So as this turns into a bloom and this continues to turn into a bloom, let me show you how to avoid blooms and also why they happen. All right, so let's say you're putting down a wash right here and you want the wash to be smooth all the way across the page. Well, I can keep adding to this wash right here as long as I put paint that has the same consistency or has a thicker consistency than what I already put down. For instance, I'm getting more paint, and so there's not more water in my brush, but more paint in my brush. And look, I just added, get more paint like this. And look, there is absolutely no blooms happening from here to here because I was very aware of how much pigment I had in my brush. Number 5. Check your values. Values are so important. You can get all the colors of your painting wrong, but if you get your values right, people will know exactly what you painted. That's how powerful values are. In this video, I share how I get my values correct. This simple tip makes your art look more realistic. How do you get your values right? Sometimes it's hard to tell if you have made the dark areas dark enough and if you've made the light areas light enough. There is an easy fix for this. Compare your painting with the reference image in black and white. See the spoon area? It needs to go darker, doesn't it? Now let's compare. Before, after. When I talk about values, I'm talking about how light something is and how dark something is. I'm comparing the reference to my painting and seeing, do I need to go a little bit darker in the dark areas? Do I need to go a little bit lighter in the light areas? And then after I check all that, I am done with my painting. I hope these tips help. I'd love to see your artwork. Tag me if you post it on social media at Watercolor Shark. If you enjoy realistic watercolor painting, make sure and subscribe. Thanks for watching.